Hey guys, what is up? It's Sky here, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video. I have not forgotten about you guys. Let me make this clear. I did not forget about you guys, but I have been busy with college. Yes, college life is very hard, especially when you're in the upper division classes, because they pile and pile and pile work and essays on top of you, which basically, runs you dry. But I am not here to complain. One little complaint is that it was my birthday on February 23rd. Yes. But it was a horrible week. It's not because of horrible, because people, not like people didn't say happy birthday to me, which I'm really grateful for the people who said happy birthday to me. Thank you guys for, the happy birthdays. I'm so grateful to have friends like you and family. So yeah, thank you for all that. But it's just like this week has been so hectic, especially with piles of work that's been piling up to my anus. This is drilly, so it's just like life draining, and I didn't really have a really good birthday to celebrate because I had to study for midterms. But besides that, I did check my YouTube channel and saw that I hit 500 plus subscribers, and I was like, wow, I'm amazed that even though I didn't upload a video for a month, you guys kept following and kept on racking up the subscribers. So thank you guys so much for the 500 sub goal celebration. And I guess I've been looking at my past videos to see which one got the most views and which one you guys really enjoyed a lot. I know you guys enjoyed the videos where I do Gadgetpon, Marvel, hair changing with my friends, Melvin, stuff like that. And also the most viewed was actually the equip videos and the training guide. And I know you guys really enjoy those videos because it's really informational and it really helps you guys out a lot. So, for the 500 subs special, I felt like I should, I'm obligated to make you guys a video, of course, but obligated to make you on how to scroll properly. Now, a lot of you is like, but I already know how to scroll properly, but my thought when I see most people scroll, I'm like, do you really know how to scroll properly? Because it kind of frustrates me when people don't really know how to scroll properly, is because they think you just scroll with whatever, but it's really important what you scroll, because it also helps out to bring out your most DPS. So this is a guide for you guys on how to scroll properly. This is my way, so you guys can use it for your own educational information, educational uses. So I hope you guys enjoy this 500 sub video, and thank you guys so much for the 500 sub, and let's get on to it. Ever since back in the day of pre-Big Bang, the highest scrolls that people ever used on a weapon was GM scrolls. GM scrolls were 100%. They used +5 was the highest, and if you had +5 perfected weapon, you were god. But now we passed the pre-Big Bang stage, and now we enter the world of super geared people that do super amazing crazy amount of damage, that level up super fast. That 200 is not even a goal that you should reach. But now, like I said, if you guys didn't watch my equip video, what I said was that the weapon is the most important thing to get first, and to upgrade, to do everything onto it, because the weapon is your most DPS output. Woo! Now, GMS and other KMS and all the Maplestory, I'm pretty sure most likely, if not all Maplestory, implement this new thing called enhancement. Now, instead of long time we get to use scrolls like 10%, 30% dark scrolls, which give you chance to boom, 70% dark scrolls, 60%, excuse me, the 100% scrolls. Now they implemented this system where you get these things called spell traces. Ooh, cool spell traces. And then you get to scroll with them. But there's 100%, 70%, 30%, and 15%. Now, as I said, the lower the chances, the higher attack you'll get, obviously. And spell traces are relatively really cheap. You can get 5,000 stacks for 3k each, depending on what server you're on. My server is 3k each to 4k each, so it's really cool to get that. But yeah, so let's get on to it. Weapon wise, if you're not funded and if you kind of like are iffy about your money uses and budget, but you saw my video, you're like, wow, I should listen to Sky, and we're like, I should scroll. I should scroll my weapon first and work on my weapon first because I'm a smart person. Definitely, if you're not funded, you're like, oh, but I don't have money. I'm so poor. I'm like a noob, or I don't want to spend so much money because I want to kind of get all my other gear. But like, of course, weapon's so important. I'll definitely use 70%. 70%. Why? Because it gives you +5 and +2. Wow, amazing. I know, amazing. It's just like the GM scrolls back in the days, but not really. And 70%, so it's not 100%. And there's the boom. The cool thing about these scrolls is that it's an infinite amount of supply as long as you have enough spell traces. Also, by the way, a note is that the lower the percentage, the more attack it gives, but also the more cost of the spell traces are. It's like, wow, 390 spell traces is so much, but spell trace, oh my god, I just DC'd. We're back, guys, once a motherfucking again because Maple decided to crash on me. But like I was saying, the lower the percentage it is, the more it's gonna cost for spell traces, of course. 50% being 570, 40, 470, 70% 390, and 100% 300. If you're low funded, you're like, I don't want to spend so much money because I'm kind of a Jew, but I'm not rich, I'm kind of new. But I want to make my weapon so godly because Sky said so. 100%, 70%, and yeah, that's what I go for. Mostly 70%. Because it gives you the GM stat scrolls. I think I was talking about it. Could be being redundant, but yeah. Now, if you want to kind of be like, you know what, I have money to spare, I'm like a sugar daddy, kind of, not really. I want to be fancy. 30% is for sure. 30%, +7, +3, stats, whatever class you are, what weapon you're scrolling. So for sure, this is what I would get. This is what I used to do before I upgraded to this because I felt like a boss. But this is what I used to do a lot, especially when it's specialist favorite. Oh, let me emphasize this before you guys start scrolling and be like, oh my god, I'm spending so much money on scrolls. Always abuse the spell trace fever. Why, you ask? Because it gives you like 15% more chance of not failing. 70% since it's 95%. 30% goes into 45%. Of course, the lovely 15% goes into 30%. Wow! I know, amazing. So this is if you're feeling a little bit fancy. Now, if you want to be a boss, definitely 15%. Why? A lot of people have a dispute like, should I scroll with the prime? Oh, hi, mom. What? Shisa? Alright. Should I go with the prime scroll or should I go with the 15% scroll? Guys, my mom rudely interrupted us. But back to the thing. Now, so like I was saying, a lot of people, there's a lot of arguments like 50% is better, prime scroll is better. Now let me tell you what I think. 50% is what I usually go for. Why? It's cheaper, it's one less attack, and and it's faster. Because you don't have to spend so much money, and you don't have to spend NX at all, which is really dope. All you need to spend on is clean slate scrolls. It's cheaper because, like I said, you only have to spend on clean slate scrolls 10%, which are like 30 to 45 mil or 50 mil, depending on what server you're on. And it gives you +9. This is one less attack from prime scrolls. Prime scrolls gives you +10 magic and attack, and +3 all stats. Excuse me, I had to burp. Now the prime scrolls is a lot more expensive because you have to go into account, like I said, you spend NX for the guardian scrolls because prime scrolls itself are expensive as well. That's number 2. Prime scrolls are like 600, maybe 500 low, 500 lowest to 1 bill. Let's say 500 lowest to 1 bill per scroll. So if you're saying, let's say half of that, 750, and times it by 9, which is roughly around 7 bill, roughly around 7 bill plus. That's just a scroll itself, getting its scroll. And then the amount of NX is based on the RNG, of course. RNG is key in every scrolling. But if you're really good at RNG, you won't spend that much money on NX. But if you don't have RNG like normal people, you'll spend roughly around 50k NX. And this is me, maybe probably more, just trying to perfect this weapon, which is really stupid for prime scrolls. So, I mean, definitely, if you want to do it, go do it. And plus, you get clean slate scrolls if it fails too. So that's more money you're adding onto it. So it's like another one and another one and another one. DJ Khaled for you. There you go, folks. But you know, that's what we want to be super fancy. This is like you want to be fancy. Prime scrolls are like you're just like you want to get anal everyone to show off your weapon. So that's just prime scrolls. I definitely prefer 15% scroll, and plus it turns to 30%, which is 15% more, so twice the chance of getting a success on Spell Trace Fever. Spell Trace Fever is very important. Also, before I want to get onto scrolling, go on further into scrolling, there's this trait called Diligence. Woo! Diligence. Yes, what it does is very cool. If you max Diligence level 100, which is really cool, I think it's 5% chance of scroll to be successful. That excludes special scrolls such as Star Force scrolls, and I think, yeah, Star Force scrolls. I think that's mostly it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, so like this can turn into 35%, and the prime scrolls can turn into 50%, and this can go up to 100% if you have 100%, and this can go to 50%. So definitely, for sure do that. If you have a person who is in your guild and you trust a lot, it's 100 diligence, tell them to scroll because you want to save that money for sure. So definitely I would go for 15% prime scrolls if you're fancy. This is for if you're kind of feeling fancy, and these are for the people who are like, I don't have money but I kind of want a higher weapon because Sky told me to. So definitely this for sure. Then let's get on to the next one. In the video, I also said that weapons important, but the second one is the shield. Now, if you're Demon Avengers, hold up, wrong one. Let me open my what the crap. Let me open my equipment tab, and they see that Mihaus don't have the luxury of scrolling the shields. Same thing with Demon Avengers, Demon Slayers, Kaisers, and some classes in classes that don't use secondaries that can be scrolled, but DBs, some warrior classes, mages especially like Fire and Poison, Evan, etc. Oh wow, okay, that actually hurt. Kind of like burped and kind of like hiccup at the same time, so like how it hurts. Back to the thing. So the shield, I would just prime. Period. Priming is key to shields because I would not use the 70%. 30% also because honestly prime looks boss on a shield. So definitely if you have a shield, use prime. If not, I don't know what the max is for shields. It says 30%, but this is a very low level. It might be 15%. If there's a 50% one, I would go for that. If not, I would just go for prime, period. But 15% if there is, go for 50%. Just as great. Just gives you one stat, but I like the prime on shields because it gives you all stats plus 10, which is really cool. For sure. Priming shield is what I would go for. And let's get on to the hat, top, and bottom. Top and bottom, of course, when you get to high level, you're gonna get CRA, or you want to go for CRA because it's so goddamn cheap and it's affordable. Woohoo! Now the max is 30%, of course, and it gives you plus 7 whatever stat you're going for. But I usually go for 70% because I don't really want to spend too much money on top, bottom, and hat. It's just really not worth it at that point. For me, it's not worth it. So I just scroll with 70%, and of course abuse Spell Trace Fever. So it's always like I always pass it with 100% rate, which is really cool. It applies for 30% max for hat, top, and bottom, of course. But 30% you can use if you want to, if you're feeling fancy. Prime scrolls if you definitely want to like. I want to go for that beyond max damage range. For sure, priming always looks cool on anything. So, but I usually just go for 70% because I don't really feel that it's a super top priority to scroll this top and shit like that. So, definitely 70 or 30 or prime if you're feeling really fancy. So you don't have to really focus on in my opinion, the top and bottom for me. So yeah. Now let's get on to the Tyrants. It's a bit of a iffy situation. Some people say that, scrolling with Chaos Scrolls is better because it gives you that extra plus whatever weapon and magic attack, depending on what class you are. But in my opinion, I think Prime are so much better because you're already going for an expensive item like Tyrants. Might as well go for the best scroll you can work with, which is Prime Scrolls, Prime Armor Scrolls. You can on the cape you can do +4 if you hammer and everything, so that's +40 all stats, which is amazing on Tyrant. And you know, like I said, you have more stars on Tyrant, the more stats you're gonna get. So I mean, like, wow. And like I said, the more my video of the equip, the more percent you have, it doesn't matter how much weapon attack you have. It matters about the stats that your class needs. The more you have, the more damage you'll do. And that in like if you do calculations like a Maple nerd, stats are always better than weapon attack. Okay, period. But like I said, if like I'm not gonna say hypothetically like one stat is better than +5 weapon attack. Of course, like weapon attack is gonna be better, but theoretically, you're not gonna just get +1 stat. You're theoretically gonna get +5, 7, etc., which is so much better, in my opinion. In the long run, it's so much better. Mechanic scrolls is really risky too. You might get downgraded, you might get upgraded. That's really stupid. So I just rather go for Prime. Prime all the way for Cloak of Tyrants, belts, and boots. For sure. But if you're going for like Nova and stuff like that, I wouldn't really prime it. Just, you know, Star Force it. Period. Not Star Force it, I mean like, you know, Spell Trace it, period. But yeah, Spell Trace it with like 70% because, I mean, you know, you're always going to upgrade to Tyrant, period. This Tyrant is the best, and the more stars you have, the better. So definitely, yeah, Tyrant, I would prime. Nova, I would just use, you know, 70%, 30%. If you're feeling fancy, always abuse Spell Trace Fever. I'm gonna repeat this over and over again because you guys are gonna get, you know, forget about it. So I'm gonna keep repeating. Spell Trace Fever, very important because it saves you a lot of money and it gives you a better chance. Hello. So Tyrants, Prime, Nova, and all the other stuff, just, you know, Spell Trace it. I said go for the rings, pendants, earring, you know, rings. You're always gonna get Gullix, hella important Gullix. Because you get the set bonus effect, which is really dope. You want to go for superior or reinforced, of course. But if you're poor, even if you're poor, I would go reinforced. They're relatively really cheap. Period. They're like 10 mil for the 10-15 mil for like the, you know, pendants and stuff like that. Now it's really cheap in general. But if you're going for superior, you know, you're not gonna get superior bill, of course, because if you're going super funded. But yeah, if you're going for rings, like the rings, you're always gonna scroll with Gullix. For Gullix rings, the cracked and solid, you can only use the basic scrolls, which gives you like +2, I think, weapon attack. I could be wrong. I kind of forgot. +2 most likely, and like +3 all stats. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong. But yeah, for sure, you're gonna, you know, upgrade these with the Gullix scrolls. So there's no doubt. Or what more people do is, like I say, prime these for sure. These are kind of worth the prime. Cracked, I guess cracked, you can do cracked. Solid, definitely I would do prime. Prime, more stats, haha, better than the scrolls, better than weapon, I'm telling you, for sure. Reinforce and superior, you know, you're always going to go for that advanced Gullix scrolls, which is just better than prime, and it's going to cost less money than prime too. So definitely just advanced Gullix these. For the pendants, just advanced Gullix, general. Reinforce, superior, advanced Gullix, you're going to go for them. Now, at that point, just it matters of what potential you have and you want to get. So these reinforce, superior, you want advanced, solid, and cracked. You just want rings, of course. You just want, you know, prime scrolls. I would use prime scrolls, but you don't have to. You can use the basic ones if you want to save money. It's not that bad either. So solid, cracked, rings, prime, or, you know, basic. Superior, rings, and reinforce, just the advanced ones. Same goes with the pendants and earring. So yeah, next item, I said the face and eye accessory, right? Face and eye accessory, whew, really cool. Sweetwater, definitely prime this. I'm a noob and I want to save money, and I didn't prime it because I'm Sky and I do whatever I want. But definitely, if you want to go for the max damage output, prime this bitch for sure. Prime this. I think if you max start with prime, it's like plus 110 all stats, which is like, wow, you know, like amazing stats. Like, why wouldn't you do it, you know? But definitely, you know, do it. Just do it. Priming is always good. So prime the Sweetwater tattoos and the glasses. Even like I said, what about Raccoon Maxes that have like 30 attack? Priming's better still, period. Prime because it gives you plus 90 all stats and whatever potential you have. So for sure. I think if you max star too, it's like 100 stats too. So I mean, priming is just better on these if you want to go super funded. But if not, you can go my newbie way. What I did was use 70-30% to, you know, scroll with the spell traces. So that's just priming is always better on these for sure. These use accessory primes. I think the rings use accessory primes here. I'm not sure. But these use accessory primes, and rings and pendant and earrings might use accessory prime too. So yeah, for sure, prime Sweetwater glasses and tattoo. There's not really much you can do for the ghost badge. I mean, you can prime if you want to, but I just spell traces regardless. I think most people just spell trace him with the high spell trace because, you know, it's just whatever. It doesn't give you that much stat bonus, but you can prime if you want to, for sure. And I guess the last thing would be the heart. Woo! Heart! Prime it, period. Prime it, period. You can scroll it with, like, I mean, if there's events such as when you get the prime scroll events that gives you like +8, or the evil scrolls that gives you +8, use that if you don't want to use prime. For sure, that's just as great as thing. But if it goes to like superior titanium hearts or the outlaw hearts, prime it, period. Just prime it. Prime gives you so much weapon attack. Oh my god, it's ridiculous at weapon attack. And if you're superior, you're gonna scroll it like this. Like, this is primed for sure. My superior heart is primed. I would definitely prime it. Hands down, prime it. Anything superior up, I would prime. Anything like Lydium Heart, barrel, I'm gonna say barrel crystal hearts. You can use the evil scrolls. That's what I used to do in my Night Lord. I think has the +8 evil scrolls. So yeah, definitely. That's what I would do. One thing I almost forgot: gloves. Let me type this in. Tyrant. Ooh, I'm so stupid. I spelled it wrong. Tyrant. Woo! Okay, Tyrant gloves. Tyrant glove. Ooh, it's not Tyrant glove. Bell. Okay, let's scroll down. Scroll. Okay, gloves. Tyrant gloves. Now, the debate is priming it or scrolling it. Now, what I would do, if you're a mage, I would prime it. If you're just a mage, I would prime it. If you're like attack wise, I would just scroll it, period. Scroll it with the max amount. I think it's +3 weapon attack it gives, which is so much better. I don't know, I find it big because when you start, you get more attack, which is so awesome to see. And it's so much different from the boots and the belt and the cape. The gloves is just in general, just, you know, spell trace it with the max amount. Just spell trace it. Priming maybe on mage glove, but anything else, I would just scroll it with the +3. If you have a GM scrolls or if a 10% scrolls, just scroll it. It's just so worth it. I wouldn't go for prime for weapon attack. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Shoulders. Oh, I forgot shoulders. I'm sorry, guys. Shoulders. Well, shoulders is iffy kind of thing. I just scroll it, in my opinion, with the spell traces, like 70%. Like I said, spell traces. Like the shoulders, top, hat, and bottom, I don't really worry about. I just scroll it with 70%. It's just whatever, and then I just start. But yeah, that's what I do for scrolling, guys. If you guys have any questions or, you know, comments, just leave a comment down below, and feel free to ask me anything. This guys is for you, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys confused about anything, just, you know, leave a comment down below. As always, thank you for watching, and enjoy your day, guys. Peace.